Joyling. Today, after very intense weekend, I went to Millionaire Mind Intensive program. It was 3 days and in London, and I met amazing Mo that he agreed to be my guest for this episode. So, Mo, could you introduce yourself?
Well, thank you, Julia. Thank you for having me in this beautiful podcast. So my name is Mo. I came from Italy. My background is technical. I'm a software engineer. I've been working in the field of high-tech industry for many, many years. Done several things to literally change people's lives. Just to give you an idea, we have software that helps each 30 seconds approximately save one person's life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, you'll tell us about the software more later. So, okay, that's a big intro. And you are also involved with the big events, right? Like a personal development event. If you could tell a little bit, you are volunteering for those?
Yes. So I typically, I started my own personal journey in personal development in the 2010. I was going through a really hard time after a breakup. And then I happened to read a book. And then that book led to a blog post. And I still remember the blog post about motivation ever since my life changed. So one.
What was the book?
The book is actually Think and Grow Rich. Was written in Italian.
Oh yeah, Napoleon Hill, right?
Napoleon Hill,
Yeah.
that's right. And the funny story is that that led me to start looking for aspects of personal development, and I happened to see a seminar from Jim Rohn. So Jim Rohn, who basically was the mentor of Tony Robbins. If you guys are aware of, obviously, who is Tony Robbins nowadays. So I learned from his mentor. And ever since, talking about software and personal development, my career exploded just because of that.
Wow, that's awesome. So every guest gets the same question.
Yeah.
What is joy to you? What is your definition of joy?
I love that question simply because I always say joy is in little things, okay? And then whenever we come to wish for something, let's say happiness, joy, whatever that is, I always like to go to the definition of the word, because it's let's say I give you an example. If you're after success is a big word, but when you understand the definition of what you're after, you actually can get it. So for me, joy is the sense of fulfillment in the small things. Whenever you achieve something meaningful, okay, whether that is helping people's lives or whether that is increasing the standard of living or even doing something for yourself or for your family, then when is it fulfilling? Then obviously you have that feeling of, it's not really pleasure, it's like more deeper sensation of being. Your spirit is literally vibrating of joy. You don't have to do anything because people recognize that kind of happiness that you have inside from the core.
Amazing. I love that definition. And for the guys that are watching, I'm finally happy that there is someone on the podcast that is more expressive than I am. Can you tell that Mo is Italian by now? Because I can definitely tell that.
That's right.
So I guess my body language is from Italy.
I told you so when we met. So I was born in Morocco.
Yeah.
We're in a way expressive.
We don't bang the table,
No,
so this
we're more expressive. You see that's what I'm talking about. However, I grew up in Italy, and one of the things I've learned is the language by itself. You can express your emotions to a certain extent. And however, your body is also a way of expressing who you are as a being. So that's why you see all these Italian doing these gestures.
Yeah.
And it's part of the language, right? And it's funny that I'm speaking English and I still use the Italian gestures. And I believe that's part of the joy as well.
No, I love that. I think it's super important. And I heard, I think I read it somewhere that when you show your hands, that's kind of subconsciously makes people trust you more because they see your hands. So you won't pull out anything out of your pocket or you don't hide any gun or weapon. So it's like subconsciously when you show somebody else's your hands, then they trust you more.
Yeah,
that's what I.
Yeah, definitely. So if you look at the concept of communication between human beings, it's all about trust, obviously. But we think that the words is the part that create the communication between two individuals. Communication turns to be, I send a message, you receive your message through your senses, your brain processes it and has to make a meaning out of it, okay? And that goes through, filtering and belief and all of that. However, the words are like 7% of the communication. Everything is about body language.
Exactly.
You just mentioned that if I show my hands, people kind of trust me because there's nothing hidden. I can bring it to the next level. If you show the back of your hand, you're still signaling danger. If you show the front of your hands, that creates trust.
Oh, that's
So,
fascinating.
have you ever seen people talk on stage? And whenever they talk, especially great leaders, they talk and they have this open language. Is the signal you're sending subconscious, like I'm open to receive you as a human being. You're welcome. So it's welcoming. When you show the front of your hands, it's even more powerful.
Okay, I love that. I didn't thought about it this way.
Yeah.
So we know your definition of joy, which is about little things, and this I love that. And what brings you joy?
What brings me? So if I literally analyze why do I what I do, it starts to be in alignment with what I define my own mission, my personal own mission. Would you like to know what is my own?
Of course, I would love to know what is your personal mission.
So my mission in life, which I taught quite recently, or actually refined, is to teach, inspire, teach, and empower people to meet their true self, to be more, achieve more. That means attract more, and ultimately give more.
I love that. Do you know what's the mission of the podcast?
I would love to hear that.
So we are here to inspire and empower people to experience more joy.
Oh, sweet.
So it's kind of aligning. Yeah. So what brings you joy?
So what brings me joy is, and again, is whatever is in alignment with my mission. It doesn't have to be huge things or great achievements. Whenever I have the opportunity to impact someone's life, it brings me joy. And so typically, Julia, you think like, oh, we wake up in the morning and we have clarity and all of that. And most of the time it's not. So we go through ups and downs, right? So I would say that the secret to success, whether that is in terms of financial or personal success, is how can you coach yourself in the downside moment? Because when you're up, everything is great, you're happy, don't have to worry about your expenses, bills, and people around you, because you're just manifesting that energy, whatever is inside of you. However, when you coach yourself to get out of it, then it's a different ball game, okay? And one of the things I typically do is that I have certain, I wouldn't call them rituals because it might sound like a little bit spooky, but I have certain, how do you call it? Incantations. Incantations. That's the word I was looking for. Incantation is typically you repeat something to yourself so many times so that your subconscious mind start tuning in, say, okay, I need to get out of this situation. Most of the time, depression is just emotion of this internal state that you think you're stuck. Okay. And the funny thing is, depression compared to any other emotion is that you have to work really hard to get yourself in that stuck situation. All right. And that's why I help people to say, okay, you want to grow your business, you want to grow yourself. Okay, we need to work on yourself. Oh, you heard that many times, especially in the event we've been attending together, is that you cannot grow your business or your income unless you grow yourself. But nobody tells you what does it mean growing yourself.
Yeah. Cool. And I think we went a little bit off the topic about like what brings you joy.
Yeah. So what brings me joy is
continuing.
Like my brain drifts to that first one.
No problem. They are used to it.
Yeah. But what brings me joy typically is whenever I do something for someone to meet their true self and have that inner transformation. Or revelation. And it doesn't need to be hours of coaching or hours of training, just literally just exchanging 2 words and get someone to realize how beautiful they are.
Oh, that's beautiful. So what brings you joy is to serve others.
Yeah, correct.
Amazing. I love that. Yeah, there is this, I think once somebody will dive deeper into what makes life purposeful and what brings joy, it's usually the service. Like there is, in my eyes, it's impossible to live a full life without serving others in some way. So I think that's really cool. And I don't know, like there is this misconception that rich people are greedy and all of that, but at the same time, the people that I'm inspired by, let's say I love Sarah Blakely, she's giving so much to others, and they are generous and they serve others. And usually when someone is starting as a huge business owner, right? They're usually converting to service, to serving others and helping, because at some point you're reaching this kind of, okay, I'm fulfilled on this level. How can I impact my work, my environment, and the world around? That's usually through service to the others.
Correct. I would actually bring it to a whole new level if you want. Typically, the concept of happiness or joy is typically growth and contribution. You spoke about service. Whoever reached a certain level of success, that means they were in service anyways from the beginning. Otherwise, it wouldn't be. Otherwise, their success would have happened to be like an accident or by chance. However, if the majority of people that became successful, they started being in service even before they started their own venture, whatever that was business in tech, in food production, whatever that is. So when you serve, that means you're able to attract money. So one of my mentors, he said, if you're not making money, you're not making that impact, you're not joyful. Basically, money gives you the result of being happy, joyful. That's what we're talking about here. That means you're out of the exchange. That means you're not serving the people that you're meant to serve.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, because I think there's a lot of, because I was looking into employee versus employer mindset. And in the employee mindset, you have, I give you this for this, right? So I give you my time as an exchange for a salary. But when you are an employer, you are giving and giving and giving and giving and giving.
Yeah.
And you receive.
Correct.
It's over there. And you receive. And at some point, you receive, give, but it's a lot of giving, I would say. Okay. So yeah, it depends. But I think every business owner can relate. It kind of, it takes some time, but it's this kind of, you don't know when is the return on investment. You have no idea when will you get the return on your time, because it can take a week, can take 2 years.
Yeah.
And those, for example, I love, have you read the book Shoe Dog?
No, not yet.
Oh my God, this is one of my favorite books. It's about how Nike came to be.
All right, yeah.
And we love Nike because of their mission, right? Yeah. Just do it. It's very millionaire mindset, millionaire mindset vibe. So the thing, how the guy did it, I found it amazing. He went to Japan, knowing nothing. He set up a business meeting with the Japanese factory of the sports shoes. And what happened was, like, he was nobody. No company registered, nothing. And he had this meeting, and he came up with a name of the company on the spot, and he put like a blue rainbow, or blue, I think it was blue ribbon. And then he was like, send me the shoes. And basically he was growing the company. So he didn't, in my eyes, he didn't do it in the sustainable way, because he was buying as much stock as possible, even on the terms of debt, and kind of rebuying, but he haven't made a salary for so many years at the beginning.
Correct.
And then there was this one moment when they sold to the public, and they all became, right, the first people in the company, they all became multimillionaires, all-time multimillionaires. So it was years or even a decade before he got the return on investment.
Yes.
Yeah, and it was amazing. This was very purpose-driven, and so...
Well, you kind of remind me of an analogy of talking about Japanese and Japan and return on investment. It's like growing a bamboo tree, right? I mean, I'm sure you're aware of how much it would take to water a seed to create a bamboo tree. Can you guess approximately?
I know it, but I think not everyone knows that.
Sure.
So I know it takes some time. So if you could tell the story.
So the bamboo, imagine you want to plant a tree or grow a tree. So you start with a seed. Yeah, you start with the seed, and then you plant it. So each day, I promise, probably you have to water it. Imagine you have your neighbor coming to you, is like, hey, what are you doing? It's just watering something that has to grow. And you don't see nothing. You don't see nothing for a month, 2 months, a year goes by, nothing. At some point, your neighbors are thinking, you have some issues. So you still keep watering for about 2 years. You don't see nothing. 3 years goes by, you don't see nothing.
Wow.
Imagine that's your business.
Many are giving up.
Absolutely. You just give up, and then whatever you planned for 3 years is gone.
Yeah.
But after the first 5 years, it takes 5 years, you start seeing the first kind of
sprout.
Yeah, thanks. That's the word. 5 years, you see the first sprout. Yeah.
Wow.
And then just by keep worrying, doing the same process, in about 2-3 weeks, it goes like 5 meters tall.
Wow.
5 weeks.
Wow.
And that's basically the analogy you kind of brought to my mind when you build a business, right?
Yeah.
So most of the time, I always like to say success is overnight, but needs preparation.
Yeah.
And that preparation can be 3 years, 5 years, or 10 years. Whenever you're ready, the market will tell you.
Yeah. And that's actually what I'm doing. That sometimes it's when like, oh, how is it going? I'm like, I'm doing the bamboo. Like I'm doing the bamboo method. That I'm growing my roots. I'm doing the bamboo. Yeah, but it's also this that it takes time. Like everything that it's worth pursuing takes time.
Correct.
And it's not easy. Of course, you can reframe that it is easy, but it takes something. It takes the growth. It takes the time. It takes the challenge. Because otherwise, I really love that this weekend I learned that. Because there are so many people like, I know how to do it. I know how to do that. I know how to do this. Like until you are living it and you are not, and you are an example of it,
correct.
Shit. Because a lot of people are talking about nutrition and they are not in the position to talk about nutrition, or they talk about business that I know exactly how to run a business without having a business.
Yeah.
So it's so easy to talk from the perspective, because I can talk a lot about other things and thinking that I'm know something about it, but until you are immerse yourself into it,
correct,
then you really know what's going on. Yeah,
it's about. So look, the world goes fast. Okay, nowadays, especially after COVID, everyone became a guru and expert about something. And myself, I wanted to be a coach, one of the best world-class coaches. And the way I wanted to do it is not like only get someone, coach someone, get them some results. Like, oh, I'm a world-class coach. No, I had to endure and go through a process of learning and learn from the best of the best, so that I actually borrow that credibility, borrow their experience, what we call leverage, so that I can get my people, whoever I work with, consistent results. And the reason I'm telling you it is not because of the coaching by itself. Is literally to just convey the message. In order to learn something, to own something, is what you said. You need to live it, because knowledge by itself, is not power. Is what you do consistently that get you results. That's where the power is. That's where the result is. And to add to what you said before, is that people like they say, I know this, I know that, I know that. What I realize nowadays is that people are impatient. I tell that from experience. I'm a tech guy, right? So we have been lied to be honest with you. It is a huge lie. We have been lied to, because when I was growing up, before you have smartphones or this or that, we have been sold a future that technology will help us to improve our lives. What you see nowadays, yes, it did help in some aspects, but it disrupted the concept of connection between humans. It did disrupt other aspects about psychology. A lot of damage has been made, okay? So, and one of the aspects that actually you could notice is that people become impatient. Because everything, so imagine now, with a click of a button, you get a result. So the waiting time is instead of days or months or weeks, now it's become split of second. Your brain doesn't know the difference anymore and expects that the world has to react the same way. At the end of the day, we have something called bandwidth. Bandwidth means the world has different speed than the perception we have when it comes to technology and results. And now people try different things. Like, I'm not succeeding. How much time did you dedicate to that thing to get results? Whether that is your business, your child, your family, you need to work on things. It's hard work, yes, but if you make joy out of it, it's not a work anymore. It's just
and what I like to say that it's hard, yes, but there is one thing that can make things easy, which is habits and routines.
Correct.
And rituals.
Oh yeah, I love rituals.
So yeah, and exactly, I remember this one situation when I was in my down moment and I was literally crying, and I was on the phone with my boyfriend and I was like crying, and he was like, Julia, it's been a year. Like, you want a gold medal after a year? Like, come on. After 3, you can give up, but now keep going. It's like this really champion mindset that it's been too short of the time to make it. And I can actually feel like after this 1 year mark, I got the clarity, and the clarity is the power, and all of that I can feel like, okay, I've tried it and this is what I want. But actually, I heard this really cool statistic that, Justin Bieber, Beyonce, and Taylor Swift, they produce hundreds of songs, but just this percentage is getting popular, and this percentage is between 20 to 30%, which is coming to 20-80 rules,
Correct.
which is Pareto, right?
Correct. Yes.
So that everything in life. So it's not about that you do one thing long enough and you not succeed, but it's about just keep trying to do things. And this is like, coming, okay, I know how to help when somebody knows what they want. Like I can definitely, but if you don't know, just keep freaking trying, try 10 things, try 20, try 30. And out of that, you should have like, maybe if you're lucky, 10 things that you know what you're supposed to do, or maybe in which direction. But I absolutely love it that it's all about trying. And I like this, that, Nokia started like as that paper company.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Or like, I think it was Samsung as a grocery store in China, I think. So it's like mind-blowing that it's, even if you go in one direction, it doesn't need to be your destination, but I think our mind wants to make it final.
Correct.
That, oh my God, this is it. And then when you feel like changing the direction a little bit, maybe towards your personal alignment, you're like, oh my God, I'm giving up on something. But it's not like that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's absolutely. The more I'm listening to your story, the more I'm thinking about something called, I think it was called design thinking.
Okay.
Design thinking. So our mind, as you said, is designed to seek for goals, almost like a GPS. Without that, we feel lost, right?
Yeah.
However, reality tells you different. So by trying new things, what you're actually doing is, first of all, you build experience, right? And you understand what works, what doesn't work. And the second thing is you actually test the reality, and reality tells you what you need to do, and not vice versa. So a lot of, big minds, they always had these big visions, right? Or big creative ways, but they have always been testing. In software, we create stuff, right? But we cannot just build something like, I'm sure it works, and then I deploy it to save someone's life. I might actually harm someone's life. So the secret to that is, before we even release something, you have no idea how much testing we've been doing. So if it didn't work once, we don't give up. We just build another test until we get to the final solution. So just taking the same analogy in real life, when you said, we just need to keep trying. I love that. I would even push it further.
Like get help, right? If you are hitting a blind, so get help. Absolutely. Like the trying, smart trying.
Right? Yeah, correct. So
not like this, doing the same. This is not trying.
No.
If you do the same over and over,
expecting same result,
you are insane. But if you try this A, B, C, D, I like to say, like, if the plan A fail, B fail, the letter has 26 letters. But if you switch to different language, there's more. So even after 26, you have more options.
Yeah. So the approach is not really keep trying. It's actually keep the focus.
Yeah.
Okay. Keep the goal in your head or your target, and then change ways, change approaches. As you said, most of the time, especially in the entrepreneurial world, it's surprising that I found out that the deadlock or the dead field for entrepreneurs is seeking the how. The best solution is to seek the who. The who means who can help me to get where I need to go.
Yeah. And
it's not necessarily one person. It could be multiple people.
Of course.
And most of the time it's like, oh, I need a guru. No, you need a powerful team.
Exactly.
To outsource your knowledge, your vision, and they have the expertise to help you to get to your goals. And you know what's tricky? A lot of people want to find out themselves and do it themselves.
Yeah, I was there. And I was thinking that there is something, how to say it, like there is some, like a sense of pride in doing it by my own.
Yeah.
I remember like it was my very first project, like a startup. It was a fashion startup when I was making a dress that could be worn in 3 different ways. Yeah. And that was the thing that I think that was coming from insecurity and wanting to prove myself.
Correct.
That I'm amazing. But to me, I think I'm glad that I learned and I'm doing this way. Mm-hmm. And that was the lesson, because I remember I wanted to do it on my own, but at the same time, I was seeking validation and opinion from everyone else. So I totally get it. Like if that would be consistent, I'd be like, okay, I'm just focused on my mission.
Correct.
But then in this way, I would definitely get help, because I would be focused on where I want to be, know that I want to do it alone.
Correct.
And then kind of getting reassured by everyone around me. So I remember that. And I remember when I had that wall with my business, I was like, no, I need help. Like I'm done. Exactly. Like I need help. And the same with the reason why I'm in London. It was that I'm freaking done. Like I'm sick and tired of working on the solution for years. It took me 3 or 4 years to learn proper meditation.
Okay.
It took me few years to get into the mindset in terms of business, where I am starting business, whatnot. But now you can literally shorten the time, right? Like with this mindset seminar, it was 3 days, but I think I've done the work that it could shorten my time for like 2-3 years minimum, because it was so intense. And I was thinking that my brain turned into a little shake and something other came out, but that's how it works. So I think the best way to go really dive into it, or just get someone who knows exactly step by step, and don't question it until you see it, because there is a process that somebody knows, but it's like they're just a little bit in front, and they're like, okay, this is how you do to get where you want to be.
Correct.
Yeah, that is my job. So like, I know how to do it, but it's like I see this resistance of like, this ego mind, and like, oh, I really know how to do it.
Yeah.
No, you know shit. If you've done that, haven't done it, if you don't do it already, and you ask for help, then just leave the space for it.
Yeah, I always like to ask questions someone, like I would like to figure it out myself. How is serving you so far? What is the result you've achieved?
That I'm using help.
No, you in general. So whenever someone is stuck, it's like, oh, I can figure it out myself, but it didn't serve you that much.
Yeah.
So to give you an analogy, like a lot of people, they recognize, athletes. For me, athletes are the best entrepreneurs on this planet, because they realize they have a talent, but they need it to bring it to the world. That's basically as if starting a business in a specific topic. You have a skill set and you want to serve the world. Okay. And the way they do it, they get coaches, believe it or not only one in any aspect. A lot of people heard about Michael Jordan, and his best, let's say, beside the high school coach, he had the best coach on the league, which is Phil Jackson. And Phil Jackson used to actually teach his team other aspects about other than sport, which is meditation. He has the concept of Zen, or being Zen. But very, very few people know about the second coach of Michael Jordan. It was the guy that was helping him to recondition his body and get him to perform at a higher level.
Amazing.
Very few. This guy was watching every game, and he was counting each step, and he was working out how many shots he made. And by the way, it was not provided from the club of Michael Jordan, was actually paid privately by Michael Jordan. And that would make Michael Jordan Michael Jordan.
Yeah. What is this swimming guy, the swimmer?
Oh, Phelps.
Phelps, right? He had this coach about the tape. This tape story that every night or several times a day, I think it was before sleep, he had to play like the perfect race, like the perfect situation, step by step. And before the race, his coach was saying like, okay, play the tape now. And that's why he was performing so well. So because I think there is such a resistance between like getting coaches or mentors about that, what I will do, and that it's that kind of sign of weakness. But if literally the top performers of the world, they have coaches for every area of life, like sleep, nutrition, like all of that. And then so I think in my eyes, it's impossible to figure it out on your own.
No,
if you want to do something big in life.
Yeah, you might, like a lot of people saying, you might succeed. Just take a little bit longer. That's the reason. So you might figure it out. But
no, but then like focus on the level, because there is a certain limit that maybe with the digital business, but there is, if you want to grow, you need to outsource.
Correct.
Right? This kind of exchange and to bring more people. Yeah. So that's why I think it's very difficult to do something on our own in life. And we're not meant to. Like, that's why we're social beings. And
Right. And by the way, it's talking about, I mean, probably you're taking a different detour, but based on what you said, is like, is the fact that someone would like to figure it out themselves, is that they put their effort on stuff that they are not even meant to do, and they get stuck, and they said, well, my business is not working, or my career is not working, because you're putting the effort on something you're not skilled to, versus that your inner genius, your inner talent is not well spent. It's like having your money, but it's spent on junk food, and you say, I want to be fit. The same analogy, right?
Yeah,
what you're saying is like, okay, how about you get help? By getting help, that means, what if I outsource what I need, but I'm not capable of doing right now, or I don't have to do it, and then perhaps as a business owner, hold a vision and build some like a team of people around me. And then you don't have to hire people, by the way. Nowadays, you can just get someone extremely skillful in any aspect from the web, and they are they love doing. That's their core skill that they would love to do. They would love to do it for free, perhaps.
Yeah.
But then you focus on doing what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually experienced that in one of my projects that I was like, I feel like I need help. And I wrote on Facebook, like, hey, I need the help. This is the project about. And then very skilled guy, he reached out to me, graphic designer. He's amazing at what he's doing. And then I said, like, it's a startup. We are not in the position to pay you.
Correct.
But would you be interested in the percentage of what we'll do? That's the vision. And he's like, absolutely, I love that.
Done deal.
And he was like, working with him is like another level. And I worked like being employed with several graphic designers, and the motivation and the skill and the energy and proactivity, it's on the next level. Because that's what I love. Like, I wish somebody would tell me that before getting self-employed, that when you get into your own business, you start to work with business owners. And that's a different level of commitment. That's a different level of engagement, and that's a different level of speed. Absolutely. It's more suitable to my personality.
Absolutely. And it requires a different mindset.
Exactly.
People was like, what is mindset? Set the mind for something.
Yeah.
And what is that something? The outcome you want to achieve. People get stuck in the process versus outcome. And that's what leads people to fail versus succeeding.
Yeah, exactly. So my question is like, how, because we talk a lot about success, coaching, and all of that, but it's great. I think there wasn't such an episode on the journaling, which is amazing. And that's I think people can definitely feel that you are passionate and joyful and very Italian in the way. So what would be a practical advice for someone to start experiencing more joy in their life? Because for me, joy is, because we are misled with the happiness. Like happiness is like kind of a state where you should be, and it's hard to arrive. And then even if you are there, you are kind of questioning like, oh, is it it?
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
And joy is like this sense of inner well-being. And it's, so that's, I'm a pro-joy fan. Right. And so what is your practical advice coming from your experience and all of your life story that somebody could do? Easy. Let's keep it easy to start experience more joy in their life.
Well, so for me, the most important thing is go back to the roots. Go back to the basics. Let's say you started this business, okay? You had this ignited curiosity and happiness to do something, right? So I always said, go back to what you want to do first. Because don't get stuck in the process of the difficult things. So, okay, I have this obstacle. I don't know how to figure out this thing. I don't know what is my message. I don't know what my mission. Go back to the roots. And then one of the things I learned from a dear friend and great mentor is that fall in love with what you do. A lot of people they give you different advice. You find work on your passion, work on your what you love. I always say fall in love with what you do. Then eventually you will find your passion.
And how do you do that?
By just
no business, just like on daily basis, regular person. How do you fall in love with what you do? Like, it's because a lot of people, they are waking up and, oh my gosh, I wish I could sleep longer and this, or like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that. They are maybe not in the position to choose what they do.
Right.
So how do you make the best out of the situation that you are, aka falling in love with?
I love it. So I would keep it super simple. Remember when you were like a child and you had a promise of something the next day? Let's say, I will take the example of Christmas, right? So you know that next day there's an expectation, something incredible is going to happen. So you wake up the next day without alarm clock and you're excited, not knowing what you're going to achieve, right? Or what you're going to get actually, okay? I would say the same analogy for the day. Not every day is going to be Christmas, right? But knowing that you wake up for a mission, okay? Knowing that you wake up for a mission, that will ignite your passion and that will ignite your joy. And when I say mission, you need to go back to your personal mission. What are you meant to be doing on this planet? It's not only your job. It's not only making money. What are you meant to do with your physicality, your spirit to others? We go back to the concept of service. When you put yourself in service, that means in service of your family, your children, and you have that, let's say, drive to do something for someone else. You don't have to worry about waking up every day and feel like lazy because you have a mission to fulfill. And if you don't do that, that means you're like, let's say, falling short on what you're supposed to do.
All right. It's I think it is practical, but I think it's very deep for,
Yep.
right? So definitely, I like it. There is this one podcast that it's ending usually that it's make today your mission to make somebody else's day better.
Sweet.
And I think that's a really cool way to live your life. That it's just act on your kind thoughts and see how the life is transforming. So Mo, thank you very much. If you could, if somebody would love to connect with you, where they can find you?
Oh, you can find me on all social media nowadays. You can just search as mo.machkour, just Machkour, mo.machkour, and I'm happy to connect.
It's Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn.
Those are basically the main 3 platforms that I know I would like to use.
Amazing. And I have you been on the podcast before?
This is my second podcast, I believe.
Okay, because you started to spell your name. I'm like, okay, that's a very big podcasting when they spell out the style. I'm like, okay, that's really cool. And I will also put it in the show notes. Okay. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure, and it was such an interesting talk. And I'm so glad that we connected and we met over the weekend. And that's it for today, guys. If you like the episode, please share it, comment, and feel free to connect with me or not.